Hello and welcome back to Against the Storm. In our last episode, we played through the second tutorial town and have now returned, or now been brought to the world map, where we can start to take a look around and see what is here, what's new, what's different, etc. So first off, the things that are the same. There's still a hex grid, where there are different resources available from each hex grid tile. As you mouse over it, you can see what those are. And we can see our tutorial town in 1 and 2 available here. When you mouse over them, it shows you the trade routes that are available with that town. So tutorial 1 offers, I think that's pottery and reeds, I think. Tutorial town 2, or tutorial 2 town, offers pottery and beer. And finally, the smoldering city, which is where we're headed in the beginning part of this episode, offers trade routes for, I think that's, oh, what is that? And we can't mouse over to tell. I think it's the rain something, but I can't remember the name of it now. Or it could be incense. It could be incense. And also offers the trade route for 10 stone per minute. Also here on the map are the resources we earned as we completed tutorial towns 1 and 2. 22 food stockpiles. We did not receive any machinery nor any artifacts. Down here on the bottom we have the cycle progress. This is the progress we're making toward the Blightstorm, which is what ends the cycle and wipes all the towns off the map again. So we're about, what is that, about a third or so, maybe a little less, maybe 30% or so of the way toward the Blightstorm. I suspect we'll get maybe 2 more towns in before we have to reset everything, but we'll see when we get that far. Over here is the phase of the moth, and this is new. This is one of the new aspects of the world map. Each phase focuses on a different biome, and the biome we're in right now that we have all access to here is the Royal Woodlands. Different phases have access to different biomes from what I've read. And the next phase is phase of the Leech, and we're 0% towards switching phases. You go to this, it tells you world phases. Complete goals to progress the world. Each phase comes with new modifiers, factions, biome layouts, and a slightly higher difficulty. And I don't know if they are cyclical, like you come back to the phase of the moth again later, or how that works. But here on the map we also have stonewood infestations on certain tiles, where the modifier is the trees are much sturdier, which means it takes more time to cut them. Now we had this in the tutorial, or in the demo rather, and I remember there being also a buff that we could get that would kind of counteract that. So when we get that buff, if it's still available, then we can inch our way toward this tile here, which gives us a couple of artifacts if we win a town next to it. So that's a useful thing. There's one down here that gives a ruined settlement, and it gives us 2 machinery if we win it. Lots of ruined buildings can we find nearby. Well, that's a useful thing. So maybe it might be useful to build up somewhere nearby that settlement. And the other thing, the last thing that's here on this world map, I mean, there's way more of these tiles way out here, further out, and I assume that as we make more cities, we can work our way further out. But those would be interesting to get to once we can actually reach them. The only other thing that's on this kind of map is the smoldering city. So you can click on either the button up here or the city itself to go into the smoldering city. Now this is quite similar to the way it was in the demo, although there are a few changes and enhancements to this part. First off, it shows you all of the trades that are available for the entire map, not just the smoldering city, which is useful for, well, trying to figure out what these things are. This is spices from the Citadel. Human and lizard folk favorites. So it gives +1 to global resolve if we accept a trade of spices from the Citadel. Interesting that it even affects the beaver's resolve, since it's global resolve, even though the beavers don't care about it. Stone delivery, of course, pottery, fiber, pottery again, and ale. Okay. And then here in this smoldering city, we don't have much else to see except for the center of the city here, but we can buy upgrades here. So we need to take a look at this. This is quite a bit more extensive than it was in the demo. I think the first few levels are very similar to the demo, but we have it's a different look a little bit, and it has a and it's obviously we have access to a lot more than we did in the demo. So the first thing, we can only take one thing to start with, which is this down here, which is the Obsidian Archive level 1. The Obsidian Archive is a fundamental upgrade, a place where records about great viceroys are kept. Unlocks deeds. Okay, let's unlock that. It's the only choice we have to start with. That took away 10 of our food stockpiles, so now we have 10 more to spend. And we are blocked out here. We have to, you can kind of see this bar here of things to kind of block us off a little bit. And we can choose between the Pioneer's Gate level 1, which gives us the Rain Collector, which is an essential building and can produce Spark Dew, which is what I thought the spices were. I couldn't remember the name of it, but that's what I was thinking they were. And the Mine, which can only be placed on coal and ore veins, digs up copper ore and coal. Or a Paved Road, which is a road made out of processed stone or clay, which gives a 20% villager speed increase. And I believe that the regular sort of dirt paths are 5%. So it's 4 times the speed, but you have to make it out of stone or clay, which is useful if you do the trade with the Citadel for 10 stone per minute, because then you actually have a steady source of stone to make the paved road. Alternatively, we have the Obsidian Archive level 2, which gives +1 cornerstone available. The cornerstone pool increases. Extend the range of cornerstone options to be chosen at the beginning of each year by 1. So what this does is, if you remember the cornerstones we picked each year at the beginning of the drizzle season, was we had 2 choices. This gives us 3 choices. So it's useful. And then we have the library as an option, which is a place where villagers can fulfill needs, religion, luxury, and education. That's interesting. So these are both very interesting, and one might want to take both of them. And as we get further in here, we can unlock more and more things. So once we unlock one of these 2, then we can work our way toward either, embark points here, which is the Obsidian Archive level 3. We can open up the Monastery of the Vigilant Flame level 1, which gives us a few other options here. Or we can unlock the First Dawn headquarters, which gives us the trader named Zorg and a Rain Mill. So, and then you kind of keep progressing, and notice that this one takes 2 artifacts, and this one takes 2 to the machinery. So, as you work your way up, they require more and more, but I assume you earn more and more as you proceed through more and more levels. I don't really remember. We didn't play the demo very long, so it's a little hard to remember. But I think I want to take the Obsidian Archive level 2, because the Cornerstone pool increase is a nice thing to have. Having 3 choices there means that we have, a better chance of getting a good one that we like, because the game is a roguelite or roguelike. I can't remember which one it is. Those choices are somewhat randomized, so having 3 random choices is of course better than 2. And then the library, we can fulfilling the needs is always a good option, I think. So let's go ahead and take this and unlock that, and that leaves us with just 2 food stockpiles left, which means that we're done here today. But the first one, if you remember, unlocked deeds. Deeds are these different abilities or different things that you can keep track of and do. And this is what progresses us through the phase of the moth. So it's not the number of towns you complete, it's the number of deeds you complete. I don't know if you have to complete them all, or if you need to complete 5 of them, or 3, 6, 8, 13, maybe you complete 10 of them. I'm not sure how much each one is worth, but things like discover 20 glades, well, we'll get that eventually no matter what. In the 2 tutorials we opened up 5 or 6 glades each maybe, and we didn't, the tutorials are short on purpose. So complete 20 orders, we'll get that eventually anyway as well. Trading worth amber. Win a game with each 35 villagers. That's interesting. That'd be a little tougher to accomplish, but I think we can pull it off eventually. Deeper into the wilds, but a settlement at least 4 fields away from the Citadel. Okay. Prosperity 1, collect 10 points of reputation through villager resolve. Interesting. First steps, win 3 games, so that one will happen eventually, hopefully. Hopefully. Win a game near the Fertile Grounds modifier. Win a game near the Stonewood infestation. Win a game with 150 grain in the storage. Win a game with 200 paths built. Don't let the Queen's impatience grow above 6. And win a game with 0 villagers dying. Well, hopefully we'll get many of those, and then we can look at the later phases. Leech, Slick Shell, Mistworm, and Sealed ones as we get down into those levels. So I'm not going to auto-track any of those. We're just going to let them happen if they happen, at least for the time being. So let's back out here into the world map. I don't think I want to push my luck out into these necessarily, although they might not be bad. If you recall in the demo, as you mouse over each of these areas, there are different things that are shown here on the little thing that pops up, and we can click on it to see what these are. So let's just click on this one, which is a shared tile with this. You get, by the way, you get all the bonuses in all of the 6 tiles around the tile, as well as the one in there. So, Royal Woodlands. The Queen's Forests were once part of the smoldering city, but the Blightstorm reclaimed this land. The Royal Woodlands are rich in roots, moss broccoli, grass-capped mushrooms, and flax with a decent amount of dewberries and clay. The ground is fertile and soft, and that makes it perfect for farming. Map size is medium. The length is 12 reputation or 12 impatience. Difficulty is normal, which gives us those benefits there. And average amount of soil. We could gain 14 food stockpiles, 2 machinery, 60 experience, and it is a woodland town, a town specialized in woodwork. It provides access to wood, plank, root, grass-capped mushroom, and grain trade routes. Finally, the modifiers. This tells us the length of each season, with drizzle and clearance being about equal at maybe 40% each of the year, and then the storm being the last 20%. Mild magnitude, 3 random green bonuses that we will get, and 2 red debuffs, or buffs and debuffs that we will get. Additional effects. This one contains a ruined settlement, which is a once prosperous settlement ravaged by the Blightstorm. A lot of ruined buildings can be found nearby. And we also get Gift of the Woodlands, in which harvesting speed in the Royal Woodlands is increased by 10%. And that's really nice to have. Food, there's plenty of all of these items available on the map. And natural resources, there's plenty of plant fiber. There is some clay. There's a dearth of resin, although I don't even know what we use this for crafting. And there's a dearth of leather, but that's also fine. And these, I guess, are in moderate amounts, not plentiful amounts. We have 3 resources we can choose to embark. Well, inconveniently, we have 3 embarkation points. So let's just go ahead and select all 3 of those. And we need to name our settlement. And I think I'm going to go with the settlement naming that I used when I played the demo. So we'll start off first with Mollyville. And let's embark here. I think that'll work out fine with collecting this. It doesn't look like it has any seriously negative things. I'm not sure why that's surrounded by a red box, though. That's a little scary, but we'll see. Let's embark. The good thing about this game being a roguelite, why do I always get those confused, is that it's roguelite, is that if you lose, you still get something out of it, and you don't really, all you lose is just the time you spent in that map. You can always start another one, no big deal. So we gained our forest mysteries here. Berry New Year, +3 to berries production, gain additional berries every yield from gathering, farming, or production. Well, as far as I know, we aren't going to be able to harvest any of those, that is. Heavy drops, +5 to spark dew production, gain additional spark dew every yield from gathering, farming, or production. Invigorating winds, fulfill at least the following need. Clothing. Unit moves 20% faster if they're clothed. Well, hopefully we clothe them. Nice. The looming darkness, ravaging storm stifles the spirit of all living creatures, stacks with hostility level. -5 to global resolve. Well, we kind of see this right away, and it's only active during the storm season. Fog, housing, unit moves 40% slower until they have housing. So we'll need to get housing going pretty soon. Pretty quickly right away. And finally, devastating storm. The rampaging storm stifles the spirit of all living creatures. Stacks with hostility level, -20 to global resolve. Oof, but it's only active from hostility 5 during the storm. And I assume hostility is the same thing as year, so we have 5 years before we hit this anyway. And hopefully by that point in time, we've gathered all 12 of the points here, and we're moving on. So let's click into the game. The game is paused. It has been paused since we came into here, but we'll start it up in a moment. The first thing I want to take a look at, though, is to see what our first building choice is here. Trapper's camp or a small farm? Well, that's a tough decision to make, because on one hand, a farm is good if we have farmland. On the other hand, a trapper is good if we have meat or eggs or insects to trap. So I think maybe the best thing to do would be to start with, to ignore that for a moment at least, and to start by building a couple of these woodcutters camps, and then pause the game and let them go and take care of building those, and we'll get started with chopping wood and get into some of these clearings here, or these glades here, and then we can see what's up. There do seem to be a larger number than normal of the dangers, but then again, this is the first real level I've played of the game, so who knows. Let's drop in a couple of beavers and a human, and over here also a couple of beaver and a human maybe. Let's actually drop the human into the third slot for reasons TM. While those guys are getting started, we can also place down the stone cutter. Oh, there's been an update because it shows you the little icons now. That's nice. Let's put down the stone cutter here, and let's put down a scavenger over here. That'll be good. And then we can mark some of these trees. Let's go into that little glade, and this little big glade here. And then you guys can work your way into both of these little glades here over time. We get our first Queen's Envoy. This is the 3 cornerstones that we can now choose from instead of just 2. Sahilda's secret cookbook. Top 10 tips on how to cook more efficiently. Gain 5 jerky for every 10 mush soup produced. Well, I don't know where we produce mush soup, but getting food for cooking other food, like a bonus to food, is not a bad deal. Trade logs detail notes on different traders and their wares. Traders will now arrive 25% quicker, and packs of trading goods will be sold for 25% more. Interesting. And efficient brewing. Plus 50% to the amount of goods produced in the brewery. I think we're going to say no to this one, because the brewery is just one building, and while that does improve their happiness, based on the need if they go to the tavern to drink it, I think we'll be okay without it. The trade logs, the first half isn't that interesting to me. The packs of trading goods selling for more is interesting, but I think that only affects one of those types of packs, and there's like half a dozen of them. So I think we're going to go with this, even though we don't even know anything about mush soup yet. So let's pick that. Hostility to the forest increased. You finished the tutorial, so hostility to the forest is no longer tuned down. Keep an eye on it, as this might make the game more difficult. You don't say. And this is the hostility. Oh, this is the hostility. Let's pause for a moment. This is the hostility level, so we got to keep this down below 5, or this will kick in. So that's the hostility levels that we were wondering about at the beginning. And we're currently at 23 points in through level 0. And we can, of course, offset that by having more hearths and probably discovering more glades. I'm not sure. I can't remember now. And we need a worker here. I think we'll just assign 1 worker for right now. And we'll let the other ones do some work. And we get our first orders. Oh, we pick orders now. Well, that's interesting. All right, let's pick from this one. We get 2 choices. We can produce, by producing and selling 5 packs of crops, we can get a rain-powered pottery wheel, which interestingly has the same icon, because it gives +1 to packs of crops production. And it also gives us 10 amber pouches, and 1 reputation point. Meanwhile, basic logistics is put down 35 paths and get shovels, which are useful tools for creating drainage ditches. Villagers move 10% faster on roads. So by doing this, it makes our 5% roads be 15% roads. I think we're going with this one because I put down roads like crazy, as you guys are all aware. Let's pick the next one. The crown. Let's see. The crown sends you new orders. Let's see. Help from the queen. If we have 6 humans, we get a small farm. We unlock the small farm. Well, that's interesting because farm is one of the first 2 buildings that we get to choose from here. We need to get 3 humans in order to get that far. Alternatively, if we have 2 woodcutters camps and 30 wood, we get a free beaver, some parts, and some roots. This one seems like a more early game one, so let's take this one. And then our next choice, shelters. Have 3 shelters and 20 wood and get 3 more people. That's a decent one. Or cut through the forest to discover 3 glades. Get some simple tools, and workers assigned to glade defense will carry 5 more items at once. Well, this is only glade events, the little exclamation point ones in the glades, not all things. So I think we'll go with this one. I need to build shelters anyway. Wood is easy to obtain, and so let's take. Then we get 3 people out of the deal. So I think I'm going to take this one, and we actually already have this one satisfied, but I'm not going to take it yet because, as we discussed in the last episode, I want to wait until the queen has some what's it called? Impatience, before I spend a point that's going to take away one of those, which these do. At least I assume they still do. So I think I will wait until she's up to 1 impatient before we do that. So almost certainly I'm going to take the farm from this one, but maybe I'll wait and see what we open up in some of these glades. And let's just let everyone get to work here. We have 3 there. Let's have another. Yeah, let's put another human in here just to keep things moving, and we'll work our way into these 3 different glades here. Let's kick the speed up to 2, I think. I only put 1 worker there, and I can put 1 in here when the time comes, which is going to be very, very soon. Actually, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll back this human back out here for reasons. TM. Let's go ahead and put in you, and let's start building some paths with that human. We'll take this way. This one can come this way. Leave 2 spaces here, and we'll put a road in right here like this. And then we'll put a road in right here like that, and that gives us a nice little square around the light, the fire, the hearth. That's what it's called. Gives the humans something to do to build those paths. Works our way toward this order, and also gives our people a little bit more speed and oomph. Move you down there. Kind of getting to all 3 of these at the same time, which isn't the greatest plan. Maybe I should move it a little bit so we don't dig into this one for a little while, because they will take the logs that are closest, or the trees that are closest to the camp first, and then they'll move out from there, and they'll take the highlighted ones from the mark before they take the non-highlighted ones. So I think that's good. And we're now in clearance. Now you notice that the buffs came and went down here. I wish I would have moused over them previously, but I didn't. Sorry about that. Let's see. And then I think we'll probably have the human build some shelters once she finishes with the paths, because we could use those shelters too. You're collecting the plant fiber. We've dug into this one. We have slickshell broodmother and fertile soil. So we have both choices here. I think... Oof. Let's look at food. Let's go with... let's go with farm, I guess. Hopefully we'll get the trapper's camp later. But I think that's better. Our second choice is a supplier or a carpenter. Carpenter can produce planks at 2 stars. That's good. Training gear and packs of luxury goods also at 2 stars. Whereas the supplier can produce fabric at 2 stars, pottery at 2 stars, and packs of trade goods at 2 stars. I think I'm going to go with the carpenter. I don't know what training gear is necessarily for, but having a better plank recipe. I think there's the lumber mill that might have a 3-star recipe, but planks are used a lot, so that'll be good. Or a herb garden. Can produce roots and herbs from nearby farm fields. And the trapper's camp. Let's go ahead and take the trapper's camp here, and that marks our 3 buildings that we had available to us at the beginning. Let's mark one more tree right in here. No, okay, there we are. So that I can bring a road down this way into here. We'll set up our little farm here and our little trapper also down here. And we've unlocked another grove. Grass cap mushrooms and small root deposits. The roots are stonecutter and the mushrooms are herbalist. We didn't get an herbalist camp, I don't think. We had the choice of a, it wasn't an herbalist camp, it was a herbalist, like herb garden or something, I think. Let's move you a little bit closer again. There you are. And you down here, I think, almost. Get these 2 taken out, and then we can put a road in here. Actually, let's go ahead and start it, because you can, I guess you can't. You can do like this, though. And let's see, we want to put in some houses, some shelters. So let's start a shelter. Also, a couple of them right here. At least get us started. We need 3 to kind of start with, but I need to move this in order to have the 3rd one. So we'll do that actually now. And then I can put the 3rd shelter in. Just like I like it. Okay, and then I can finish this path right here. And I think I want to move this down. I'm going to set it on top of these fields right now. That way they'll get all of this stuff, but then eventually we won't need to do that all. Roots and Slick Shell Broodmother Big, which has 60 charges, as opposed to these, which have 15, probably? Yeah, 15 charges each. I think I'll let them kind of clean these trees up a little bit that I have marked. We're probably going to open this up a little bit more, but before we dig into this extra glade over here. And then we'll dig into this one after we finish cleaning up these. Sometimes the trees grow on top of the fertile soil, as we learned in the previous tutorial, I think it was. So that's a useful thing to also have. Ah, good, you are building the houses now, the shelters. Because we are in the drizzle, or the storm. Let's see. Oh no, the discovered glades increase the hostility of the forest. That's not great. Show down here. Okay. And yeah, this is the looming darkness. So this is where we need to have... Alright, this upsets everyone for a little while. The global resolve being -5. But this fog is where we need the housing done. So good thing we're just about done. With the people we have, of course. I think I should also mark, speaking of that, a few trees right here just to have a little more space for a little bit more housing. That'd be good to have also. Let's see. 1, 2, and here. That'd be good. Alright, and now we get a cornerstone choice. A small distillery. Rainwater can now be distilled even more effectively. Gain 4 crystallized dew for every 10 spark dew produced. Well, we're not even gathering that yet, and I don't think we even have the building for that yet, so I'm going to probably pass on that one. Egg delivery line. 10 eggs per minute for free. Free food is always a good option. Over diligent woodworkers. Some woodworkers just can't stop working. Gain 2 barrels for every 5 planks produced. That's also very interesting. But I think we're going to take free food because, well, free food's a good thing. And then we get an offer for delivering additional villagers. I think I'm just going to take the one of each option here, and we'll see how that works out for us. We're going to need another house for them now. There. At least we get more people to do this work now. And we can probably assign another beaver into here. We still have 2 beavers here, yes. Come over here and work on these trees. Just declare these 2 that I have marked. Not that it matters much, but just so. And we got more orders come in. Oh, we can also send some of these orders away, too. Alright, now we can move you over here. Ouch. Oh, there's a road there, Wally. I can actually turn all 3 of these in. Which one do I want first? That's the question. I think I'll take this one first. And so that knocked us down on the impatience. And it knocked us up on the other one here. Supplier. I'm not sure also what the red box versus the green box is. Supplier can produce fabric. We looked at this one already. That's a decent option. Bakery can produce biscuits, pie, and pottery. I think we'll go with supplier. And I think it's also time to start a makeshift post. No, crude workstation. Although the carpenter and the supplier do 2 of the 3. We will need to have the 3rd one. Let's go ahead and put that down. What do you have here? Oh yes, trade in, turning in more of these. Let's turn in... let's turn in number 2 here. Oh, we need to pick these also. Let's pick population influx. If we get 50 mush soup, which is produced in a brewery, brick oven, druid's hut, granary, or cookhouse. It's a lot of choices. That gives us a huge amount of people. Whereas if we provide 10 packs of crops, it gives us 3 humans, 3 human clan support, and 2 parts. I think we'll go with this one, just because I don't see us needing 15 people in a surge like that, but maybe I'm wrong. And let's pick again. Aid for the lizard clan. This is like just similar to the human one we just picked. If we provide 10 packs of provisions, or if we make 50 paths, we get 5 amber. That's nice. You know what? Let's do this one anyway. Because by taking this one, it's kind of a simple one. And I like to have simple ones because we may need to spend them to bear down our impatience here a little bit sometimes. The clothier, which produces coats. Well, we need to clothe our people, so clothier is a really good choice. A brewery is also a really good choice, but I think because of the one debuff, we need the clothing. So let's take the clothier. Alright, and let's go in here. First we're going to do is uncheck the 2 recipes that we're going to make elsewhere instead. And then one thing I learned is you can actually type into here. Oops. Type into here and say you want, say, 10 of these. And you don't have to worry about that stupid slider. So that's a good thing. We'll drop a beaver in here because they get a bonus for it. Let's put up the carpenter. Need many things. Ooh, uh-oh. What's this? Small abandoned cache. Oh, these just changed the icon. Okay. This is those glade events they were talking about. Let's go ahead and... Ooh, 25 clothing. Let's do that, because it's going to take us a little bit to get the clothing up and running. So let's actually send 2 people to deal with that as quickly as possible. This needs cloth to make, cloth and planks to make. So we actually do have to make these things here. So let's put a second worker in here. We'll go with a human. And that will get us taken care of there. These 2 will finish this pretty quickly, and then we can move on. I assume we have, actually. Do we have? We don't have the little tools. Oh, we don't get those for free anymore. Well, then cancel all that mess. Let's see. You can do some editing here. Let's take out these trees. These trees here. Some of these also. And some of these over here. Eventually, at least. And you need to come up here and take out some of these trees. 4, 5, and 4. We need another house. There. Oh, we need to take these out as well. Let's do that first, because that's where the house needs to go. Sorry. Her impatience is not up to 1 yet, so I don't want to turn in that last shelter. Good, good, good. And we're making bricks and planks, and we have a little bit of fabric as well. And that means that we'll get those planks delivered there as soon as we can. And then once we have them, enough of them, then we can turn this plank recipe off and flip it around to make, or turn this recipe off here, rather, and make 2 planks out of 5 wood instead of 2 planks out of 8 wood. So that's definitely worth it. And these pack of luxury goods we don't need yet, so I unchecked that. And I've also unchecked the training gear because we don't have any leather. We could use plant fiber instead, though. And we don't really have much in the way of stone, although we could use wood or clay as well. Let's move you over here. Focus them in a tighter area. Let that continue. And I'm going to mark a couple of these trees as well here. How's it going? Yeah, they're going to keep making planks as fast as they can. We do have 275 wood, so that's not a bad deal. We'll just see how this continues. Let's go ahead and stage out another path going this way. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. I'm going to actually not put this road right behind the storage. I'm going to put in a couple of these other buildings. The supplier, or the clothier. How big is the supplier? Oh, that's 3 by 3. That's okay. Put that in here. That needs planks also and bricks. We'll get that done. Pottery I don't want to make just yet. We don't need pottery until we're making alcohol, I think. And pack of trade goods we don't need yet either. We need packs of crops first. But the fabric, 3 plant fiber for 2 fabric, alternatively 3 leather or 3 reed, compared to 6 for 2. That's half price. That's worth it. Let's limit that to 20. And let's also limit this to 20. Let's see, yeah, you're going to need lots of those planks still, but I think I can pause this fabric recipe now. And in fact, I think I can pause the brick recipe now too, and let them both focus on making planks. Because that's good. Move you guys up here. And then we'll draw another path this way. And then I can put the clothier in here. I think I'll just do like this, and we'll have a little bit of space open there. Which is fine. Alright, next year, Cornerstone, efficient brewery, a boost to amounts produced in a brewery. Again, useful. This is Sahida's cookbook, which we already have. So why are you offering it again? Or grain bags, specialized grain farming techniques. Grain production is increased by +1 for every 25 times it is produced. Let's go with the efficient brewing, because we're going to turn that grain into beer, but if we get, say beer costs 10 grain each, which is a ridiculous amount, I think, but just to say. So in this case, we'll get 1.5 brew ale for 10 grain, whereas this would take a long time to recover that 5 grain, versus if we didn't take this to make 1.5 beer, it would cost us 5 grain. So that would mean that this would have to cycle up 5 times before it became more useful than this. So we're going to pick this. Assuming my logic is correct, of course. If not, well, you can yell at me, I don't care. I don't mind, that is. So it looks like they did clear this out. Let's go ahead and put a farm in here. Small farm. Can I put it right there? I can. Nice. And then we'll put in some farm fields. And we can move on. We have reached hostility level 1. And we need to move you as well over here somewhere. There. That's better. And then we can put in another shelter. And a little bit more path. Oops. Keep not clicking on the second thing there. And we can turn in some more orders, which we probably should do. Let's actually turn in both of these and zero out our impatience a little bit here. pick a new building. A furnace, which gives us bricks, copper bars, and pie. Or lumber mill, which of course gives us the 3-star plank recipe. Let's take this one because we get a 2-star brick recipe at least. And then the bakery or the smokehouse. Let's see, biscuits, pie, and pottery, all at 2 stars, versus jerky at 3 stars. I think that's the way to go. Now we're building this house, or this farm here. We also need to build a, we'll do the smokehouse in a little while. We also need to build a trapper's camp down here. Right into there, actually. That's a great spot for it. And that'll let us collect those 3 eggs there. You would like me to pick some more orders, though. I forgot. 20 trade goods gives us a crap ton of stuff. Or fulfill leisure 50 times gives us amber plus 1 to ale production. And then 5 parts. Let's go with this one. Pick again. Industry, copper ore. By mining 30 copper ore, you get parts, beavers, and some of those simple tools. That's useful. They can be made in something. I remember seeing it in the last tutorial level. Or we can make satisfy luxury, which we don't actually know how to do yet, and get flour, boost to flour production, boost to wine production, and barrels. I think we'll take this one. And this one here, agriculture. Having 24 farm fields and 20 packs of crops means that we boost our grain production by +1. We get some parts and we get some humans. Or we can have a brewery and have a tavern and then get ale and bigger barrels. Let's do this one. All right, and we'll pull out of that. And then we need to do this to take in some new people. Now, let's see. I think I want the beavers. The beavers are super useful, but then so is everybody else. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do the beavers. Let me go through and make sure that I have only beavers in the lumber mills, which I don't. There you go. And only in here, although now I think I want them here. Oops, here instead. At least one of them. To make those planks, uncheck planks from here. Oh, we need the bricks left on here. Oops, I messed that up. Supplier makes fabric, makes pottery we don't need. We already set this up. Good. Let's see about a human here. Or a lizard. Let's go with the human. Speaking of humans, can we get this done yet? No. No. And then coats, manuscripts, and packs of luxury goods. Let's go with 10 coats. And we'll put a human, I think, in this as well. Yeah, I think we'll just put a human in there. Alright, let's move this again. We put in a path going this way. There you go. Scavenger's camp has no deposits nearby. That's you. That means you need to move. Move. Thought we had something. Guess we don't. Okay, well then you can stay here then, and I will take the worker out of it. The stone cutter also just lost its supplies, its coverage here. So let's move you out here. More fields out here too, by the way. And the broccoli, which is a something. I can't remember the name of it now. Forager, maybe? Yeah, forager. Alright, we didn't get anything planted because I didn't get over here fast enough. Let's only do vegetables for right now. 2 humans. Even though it's too late. And the trapper definitely needs to be 2 lizards. There's one actually back there too. That's good. Okay. I could put another person in here. We have 2 humans and a lizard available. You. This one doesn't have anything to do just now. I think we want to mark some more trees right in here. And move this one down. Don't want to necessarily dig into that just yet. Move this here. I think that's good. And I just noticed the time. We are way over our time in this game. This game is that kind of game that just gets me sucked in and not paying attention to the clock. So let's end this episode here and move on to the next, and wait until the next episode to finish up this scenario. So thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.